Have you ever felt like perfectionism is holding you back? Well, that's what I'm facing today, and I just want to share with you how I'm dealing with that. I've been working on a vlog the last few days. Like, if you look at my channel, it's a little all over the joint. So I think there's some really quality stuff on there. One of the big challenges I have is choosing a niche. Now, there's a real big groundswell I'm finding on YouTube of people talking about, what do they call it? People with multiple interests and how to choose a niche. And it's almost, I had to chat with somebody the other day about how not choosing a niche is a niche. And it seems to be where I'm coming from. I have things like overcoming perfectionism, documenting my journey in creating my own entrepreneurial network, building my YouTube channel, finding personal sovereignty and freedom. And that's what this is really all about. So that's why I've been working on a vlog. It's part of the experimentation. I am flipping a few things on eBay. I have a history in Drupal. I've made some Drupal news videos. So I've got a lot of things to do. I've got to finish editing that vlog where basically I go through my day, and the last couple of days I've taken videos of all sorts of things, tried to get B-roll, and it's the first time I've done a vlog style video. And already, having just filmed it, I'm realizing how much work it is and I need to edit it. I also have a podcast to do with a friend that needs to be edited. And I've started on that, but it's been a few days since I've touched it, so I feel obligated to work with that. It's been a month since I released my last news video, so I've got to write one of those up. There's just no way I can fit all that into a single day. And the reason the perfectionism comes up is because I want to try and get more videos out, hence this one. I wanted to just sit down quickly and just talk to the camera and get something done and get something up. And try and do a good job and package it well, at the same time as not overthink it and not get too busy into perfectionism and such. So here I am, delivering this to the camera and going through what I'm going to do today. Now, an important thing to touch on is that I have a ritual I do every day, which is to review the choices I made for my life. I have a life coach I've worked with to elicit those choices. And as of today, like, I've got an appointment this afternoon to renew those choices. I've had them for a year or so, and it's time to just reassess them and go through some processing. If you want to know more about that, put a comment down and I can talk to that particular area of my life. Probably the bit I'm most passionate about and the bit I speak about the least, but it comes out in a lot of my videos anyway. So I'm trying to just document everything and try and provide value for you so that you can see me on my journey, see what challenges I'm facing, how I'm overcoming them. Hopefully add some encouragement to you to try and give it a go for yourself and have a go as well. So I've got to do that today. I've had a sleep in this morning. It's 11 a.m. now, and I've only just really got up and got moving. I've grabbed my coffee and I've sat down, set up my computer and put this on ready to go. And I want to go do those choices. And I usually walk up the street and buy a coffee, and I find it really important. I made a commitment to myself that I'll do my choices every day. And I probably spend too much time on those. I like to go up the street, get a coffee, enjoy the time, just really enjoy having that space. But it can easily result in a lot of time. I went up and did it yesterday and vlogged about it. And when I came back, I finished the task I'd set for myself, which is putting some listings up on eBay. I got those done, and then I kind of got tired and found myself crashing out and had to go to sleep, and then got up and I went and ran trivia last night. There's a pub gig that I've got where I run trivia once a week, every night, and I really quite enjoy that. It's a lot of fun, and I went and did that. So I sit in this space where I feel unproductive and like I didn't achieve anything, yet at the same time I did, and I wanted to achieve more. And so this is the headspace I'm at, is, am I getting enough done? And this is perpetual, that I always feel like I've got more to do than time to do it. And it's so easy to get caught up and beat yourself up. And I find this exercise, talking to the camera and explaining through it, quite a good way to overcome that, because in explaining that situation to you helps get my head straight and look at it from a clear perspective, in that I'm doing quite well and I'm getting something done every day, and I am moving forward and trusting my own intuition and my own heart to lead this through and follow it through properly. So here I am making this video, as I said, and I'm going to need to edit this, make a thumbnail, come up with a title. That's what really challenges me with doing a YouTube video every day. You kind of wish I could just post them and put them up straight up. And even now I've had a quick review, sat down with ChatGPT, came up with some ideas and didn't actually come up with a title or a thumbnail. We're going to have to do that in post and work out what that is. But as long as I get a video up, that's what doesn't really matter. So that's my day today, working through this, want to get this up. And I've got that vlogging to do. I'm just really stuck in this space. I've got so many things to do and not enough time to do them. I've got that appointment with my coach this afternoon, which every little thing just feels like it eats into more time. And I just wish days were longer, which is fascinating because that's not something I used to feel very much when I was at work sometimes. But working for someone else, you kind of just want to get what you can get done and get out and get out of there. It's fascinating to realize how many things I used to deal with in my head when I was working for someone else that I still deal with now when I'm not working for them. Things that I thought were pressures coming from bosses and stuff, like I don't feel like I ever get enough done, I don't feel like I'm productive enough, and I still feel like that now that I'm my own boss. It's really fascinating and really interesting. I think the big trick of that though is to remember that I am focused on building my dreams. That's what I love about where I'm at the moment, being able to be my own boss and make my own decisions and make my own choices. Now, I'm not making a lot of money yet. I've got a Udemy course that makes me pocket money. I've got the trivia hosting that I do. I'm flipping things on eBay, which is making a little bit. That's just started and needs to build up and get happening as well. So wanted to share that with you guys and see where you're at. I know a lot of people these days are very much into productivity, and we live in a society that's very much about being busy and getting stuff done. I'm fascinated by a lot of what Gary V has to teach, but he's very gung-ho and go and speaks of speed. But he, counter to his speaking of how important speed is, he also talks very much about self-awareness and knowing what your skill set are. And one thing I know for sure is that I'm not fast. Things take me time. I'm not good at sitting down and focusing really hard. Unless something grabs me and inspires me, like I can sit and edit for a while and get that done. But I just recognize that I'm not a fast person. If you think about, I relate a lot to the tortoise and the hare story, and the hare going gung-ho and going really hard. One thing I find about that story, they tend to be told that the hare got arrogant because he was going fast and decided to have a sleep under the tree, and then the turtle just wandered past. I think a different spin on that is that he came out of the gates really hard, and whether it was arrogance is a questionable thing. You could argue that by coming out of the gate and going dash hard, you don't have a lot of momentum. Like you burn out quick, and that's why you tend to stop and rest and then miss out. And I think I see this whole exercise as a marathon. I've been at this for technically 18 months, full time for 12. I'm in a position where I've got somewhere to stay that I don't need to pay rent for, which means I can go and do the trivia gig. Now, my big advice for anybody, I hate giving advice, but one thing I'm doing is being willing to give up the lucrative corporate job that I had and then take up something like trivia hosting or get a part-time job so I can have the time that buys my time. I make less money, and it made, the fear at the beginning was that it's not socially acceptable and I'd lose face. God, that's pride getting in the way, isn't it? And then here I am, having made that choice to turn my life upside down, let the structures drop, and here I am doing this, and I love it. I'm so happy, and I'm loving this gig, and my channel is growing little bit by little bit. As of right now, I've got 113 subscribers, but a week ago I had 100, and a few months before that I had 80, and you go a few months before that it was just 20. So little bit by little bit it's growing, and when you aim at something like 1,000, which is 10 times more than that, that can look like a really big goal. Yet I'm aware that at some point there could be a breakthrough. And as I work, I'm still experimenting and finding my place, and maybe spreading myself too thin, but we'll see, right? So this is just an update I wanted to give on camera, just to practice, just to get this done, and encourage you to go. If you've got a dream, there are things you can do to go for it, and discuss that. I'm challenged too, right? I think a lot of people, particularly on YouTube, make it look like it's really easy. people are afraid to have that kind of vulnerability and show that, God, it's hard sometimes. You know, they love to give advice and give tips, which I think comes from the point of wanting to provide value and look credible. But there's a vulnerability, I believe, in coming out and saying, hey, look, it's not always easy and I find it hard. I had the same feeling and idea around when I was in Drupal. I ran a panel at a Drupal conference, Drupal being a web development tool, if you're not aware. It's very niche, which is one of my challenges on Facebook. It's so niche that, on YouTube, it's so niche that I don't really want to focus in on Drupal. I want to build a bigger channel than what I think Drupal's got the audience to cover. But I was at the Drupal conference and I ran a panel called Drupal Confessions, and I invited a few very experienced and known people in the Drupal world to come up and answer questions from the audience about their daily life and their daily struggles, and bring some ideas about things that are ordinary daily things that you do in Drupal and how they deal with them. It's in an attempt to get that same point across. Like, these guys look like they're very, very successful and powerful and amazing, but everybody struggles. Like, life's not easy. Nothing's easy for everybody, right? Everybody struggles, and that's the encouragement I really want to share with my audience, is that I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. I experience challenges and setbacks and find things difficult and have trouble working things out, get imposter syndrome, question myself all the time. And I just really want to share that, look, I'm giving it a go, and can encourage you that you can too. I think that's really the point that I really want to drive home with what I'm doing, is you got to get over that. And I noticed that in this process, I have those same insecurities. I get caught in perfectionism. You can see that from the way this video started. Give yourself some appreciation and some gratitude for giving it a go, and don't beat yourself up so hard. I think we hold ourselves to a high standard, and can often be because we feel like society holds us to that high standard, and that we need to control everything, need to get everything done, that there's a right way to do things, that we're not good enough. All these challenges come up, and I don't know if there really is a right way to do things. I've watched lots of videos on how to start a YouTube channel. And you watch enough of them, you start to see that there's contradictions in advice. Some people say niche, some people don't niche. Some people say define your audience. Other people say be vulnerable, be authentic. There's this new movement of YouTube in easy mode, which is just turn the camera on, focus on, don't worry about a thumbnail. Some people have made it that way. Some people have done faceless channels. Look, you just got to give it a go and find out what works for you. And that's true authenticity. Authenticity in my mind is let go of other people's opinions and other people's ideas, and find your own heart. Now, I've got a coach that can really help me with that, and it's great to have a coach that I can sit down and put these things forward, and we can sit and be quiet and get in touch with our own intuition and see where we're at and go, hey, look, this is the right move. Look, I encourage everybody to get a coach, and I understand that, you know, money can be a hard thing. I get that. I struggled with that for years until a point in my life where I hit breaking point. I just went, got to go get a coach and pay for that. I had the corporate job at the time, and changed my life over a few years, you know. And I agree with Gary Vee when he says, don't blame other people, parents, society, money, whatever, right? I agree with him. I think we've got to take some personal accountability, and I had to learn to get over that. I used to, especially when I was younger, always but this challenge, but this. It all comes from a sense of powerlessness, and our egos want us to really get that, because that sense of powerlessness takes the light off us. It keeps us safe, because then it's not our fault. You know, it's almost like there's a deep fear that our soul will be annihilated if we're not good enough. So if we can put that blame externally, then we can feel safe. And so that's something worthy of getting over. And there's some points I wanted to make. So let's talk about authenticity, being kind to yourself. I think these are great ways to get over the perfectionism that I still struggle with. See how we go when I stop this camera and go and edit this. I'm probably going to get that perfectionism come up when I edit this and go, look, I don't like the intro. Already in my head, I'm thinking that as I've gone through this process and thought about it, there's so many things I think are wrong with this video. Like, I probably didn't start out with the same good energy that I've got now. The really good meet's in the middle. That's not going to work as a very good hook. I haven't followed my notes. I've just talked to the camera and said whatever I've got to say. I'm worried that I made different points all over the place and meandered and rambled all over the place. And I don't know. I made a video the other day where I thought that was the case. I even edited it, stuck it up. I edited the beginning and then put it up, and I didn't even watch it. And I had a mate give me some good feedback on that video, and I was afraid to go and watch it. And when I watched it, I went, that's better than I thought it was. So we'll see how this turns out. So whatever you're doing, whether it's YouTube channels or something with your life, look, just go for it, right? Just go for it. Be kind to yourself, and find out what it is you truly love and what you truly want. As that's for me, I mentioned personal sovereignty, freedom, right? So you can set goals if you like to try and make a lot of money. Just be careful that often that is you setting a goal on something you think you need to have in order to have what you want. Keep your eye on the ball, go for what you want. And my goals are personal sovereignty and freedom. And so this is the path to that seems to be the obvious path to take. I get to express myself, express my creativity, and experience that freedom, and just have faith that this will succeed. It's a marathon, just takes time, have patience, and in the end, if I keep going, this will eventuate and it should be fine. That's what I'm going to leave you with here today. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe down the bottom if you want to see more of this. Check out some of my other videos. I've got a variety of things. The further back you go, the different it gets. Some of my early videos are funny. When I was experimenting, you can see my whole journey of how I've evolved in this channel to see how that goes. Hopefully give you some encouragement that if you want to give it a go, just get started, experiment, throw mud at the walls, figure it out, and you'll get there. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much. See ya.